This came to my attention from my mum. I was actually at her house and she said, "Oh, did you see the news?" Of course I didn't. I don't really watch TV and I don't really take into account anything that the mainstream media says. I did not see this. So apparently there was an idea to ban the Gstring bikini and bikinis that revealed a lot on Australian beaches. And I'm a girl and, I heard of it and I was like, oh, which fuddy-duddy old man said this? Come on. But recently, I have decided that they indeed have a leg or walker to stand on. I decided to make this video after going to Sculpture by the Sea. This is an annual event in Perth, in Bondi, and also a place called Snowy Valley. So that is a place between Sydney and Melbourne, I believe. I've never been there and I've never seen the sculptures that are exhibited there if they're different to the ones that we have. It's a chance for Australian and international artists who make gigantic sculptures to come and show their work on the beach. And for 2-ish weeks, people can walk around. There are a lot of schools that come in, so there are a lot of buses out the front some days, 60 students from a school that will come around with clipboards and be drawing the things and be doing activities. At that specific beach, there are also swimming lessons for kids that are under 10 and they have their little kickboards and stuff and they're in the water. The last couple of years, there's been matting laid out so people in wheelchairs or those that have impairments with mobility, so if you're on crutches or something, you can come into the sand and get a close look at these sculptures. Generally speaking, there are a lot of different people that come and look at different times of day and at different times in the whole run. The landscape, the demographic is changing, as we all know. A lot of different people are imported or choose to move here or come here on holiday visas or come here on student visas. There's a lot of different types of people. So tall, short, black, white, brown, whatever, wearing a full burqa on the beach.
Video for another time, maybe.
Different types of human beings, and they're there for different reasons. As I said, the schools are teaching education and doing something to do with art. And then you've got little babies in diapers that are coming to the beach, just paddling around and crying and laughing and carrying on. It's a family day out, and they do make a day of it. Some stay all night till sunset. We have beautiful sunsets, so we have restaurants in that area. It's a nice area to be. Yesterday, my attention, unfortunately, was drawn to 4 women, 2 sets of 2 at different times on this beach. These are just the ones that I'm counting because I actually had either an exchange with them or I was on a video call and was dipping my phone away so as to not get their bare asses on camera, out of respect for them when they clearly had no respect for themselves.
Oh, no, you didn't!
Yeah, bitch, I did. So this is what I think. No, Eva does not believe women should cover up because men can't control their emotions and shame on them. It should be we could walk down the street naked and nothing should happen to us. Yeah. We would like that. That would be a great world. That's not the world. You don't really want to walk down a shit part of the street, a shit part of town with a gigantic diamond ring on your finger because no, someone should not steal it. It should be that you can walk down and nothing happens to you. But on the off chance that it does, you don't want to give anyone more attention to you. You don't want to give them an excuse to do something. You don't want to help them make the decision to commit a crime against you. Does not mean you're responsible. I'm not victim blaming. But at a certain stage, you have personal responsibility for how much risk you're willing to put yourself in. Is this related to the bare bums on the beach? Well, yeah, kind of, because the first refrain that came from the other side was, "It's my body, don't body shame me, I can do what I want." What are you looking at, old man? Stop looking at my butt cheeks. They're sunny side up, under the sun, turning bright freaking red, mind you. And not only that, the 2 first girls that I walked past had undone their bikini tops too, so they're face down in the sand while there's little kids running around and there's old grandmas walking around admiring the art, turning this way and going, okay, so yeah, she's face down, we don't see her boobies, but as soon as she pushes up off the ground, whoever is in that radius in front of her from her arms and the other side is going to see her naked breasts. And again, I can hear the refrain in my head, "So what? Free the nipple. It's just the nipples." Look, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it just kind of seems that the logic doesn't match up. You want respect from men and you don't want to be seen as a sexual object, yet you want to do, well, quote unquote, slut work. I've never really understood that. Look at me. I'm flashing my boobs. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to show my boobs to promote feminism that says I'm more than my boobs. It makes no sense. That is not an argument. So no, I don't see a wanton bare ass on the beach as any sort of political statement. In fact, I think it could be the opposite, because why else would you do that in the middle of a sculpture by the sea unless you wanted people to look? Bringing me to the next subject, which is kind of the same thing, but so you want to tan your butt and you want to make sure there's no tan lines. Okay, so why is that? Oh, you want to look good naked. Okay, do you want to look good naked for you, or is it for someone else? For you? Okay, cool. You go, girl. I know that little that you get when you are matchy underneath your business suit and you're working. So when you've got the matching bra and the matching underwear and you're like, I've got my shit together, and you feel good for that day because of that. I can understand that kind of mindset, but that fades. So is it indeed about someone else? And I just want to mention that sex now is like a handshake. You go on a dating app, it is expected of you to take that person home on that night. And if you don't, it's kind of a bit odd, but okay. And if you do, it's just the run of the mill, the way these things go. So I can't help but wonder, it's kind of like getting yourself ready for a job interview. Do you want the so-called perfect body that you can possibly get without the Hollywood trainers and all that, and without the Instagram filters? Do you want to look like the influencers because you want to impress that person on the first go? Let's quickly have some sort of intercourse, and if you were good and we kind of got along and we can sort of stand each other in the next couple of days after and we don't ghost each other, maybe we can get in a relationship. I can't help but think that people want their bodies and everything to look great initially because they need that first attraction to get through the sexual job interview. And maybe you just don't have anything else to offer. You might, who knows? But the way things look at the moment, it's all about the outside of someone. It's all very quick and it's all very throwaway culture. So it doesn't surprise me if that would be the case for most of the people I see doing this on the beach. Just wanting attention any way they can get it. The other thing is that there is such thing as indecency laws, and sometimes, oh, it's decent. Sometimes you see a nice butt. I'm the first to say I'm a girl. I'm not a lesbian, but I know when I see a nice body and a nice butt, I get it. But you're doing it in front of children, and that's why we have things like indecency laws, because some of us don't need to see that shit, and certainly not the kids. And that kind of got me thinking about the other argument where people go, oh, it's just a body, like who cares? It's just a body. It's just a dick in my kid's face. It's just a butt cheek in my kid's face in a Gstring. So I do get why some people will take it as another encroachment on the rules where there's adult nudity and children in the vicinity. I will also make a note that I do live, like I said, on the coast, and that means we actually do have dedicated nudist beaches. So fuck off up there. If you're that brave, you seem to be brave down here with these little children. Why don't you go do it up there where there's old people that want it all to hang out? There is a time and place. It's not at an art show. Okay, you are not a work of art. You look like everybody else. I don't want to keep having to look at your butt. Poo comes out of there. And while I was looking into this subject, because I did ignore it a month ago when it came out, I just didn't see there was a point to it, but seeing it in the real life constantly the last few weeks got me thinking, and that's why I made this. I just want to say something else, and if you weren't pissed off before, this gon' really piss you off. Honey, you are not a 10. Sorry to tell you, but you're just not. So don't listen to the Simps on Instagram, and don't watch these panel shows where girls are saying, oh, you're beautiful, and telling you something that is clearly BS. You are not a 10. You're not even a 5. Put it away. We don't want to see it. And so that kind of makes me a little bit like, yes and no. I'm happy that you're proud of yourself. I'm always into elevating people and saying, yeah, you should have self-confidence. However, when you look like you're desperate to get attention lying amongst the sculptures at a yearly event, it's kind of gross. If you appreciated the video, like and consider subscribing for more.